It forced me to actually see her how she was, with everything already hitting on the table. Like, okay, if you want me, you want me. This is all it. So if you don't, you don't. And I'm like, oh, that's different. I like that. And then it allows me to sort of start to get to a place where I'm actually doing the same thing, where you don't have to hide nothing. You know?
It's just, see what I'm talking about, ladies and gentlemen? This is exactly what I'm talking about. Bro, let's talk about the premiere.
Yeah.
Dude. So that's it. The cat's out the bag.
Yeah. It's airing.
El Fuego is...
We've been talking about it for a little while.
On the prowl.
I know, it's crazy. I mean, we've been throwing fillers out for a little while.
We went to that premiere a couple weeks ago.
I know.
Bro, I didn't know what to expect, man. I'm not gonna lie, bro.
I didn't know what to expect.
That opening scene.
Yeah.
I was like, what is this?
Bro, I'm telling you, man. Viewer discretion is advised, man. And might I say, it's not for everyone either.
Yeah.
I mean, just be cautious. Be conscious on certain things. You may want to
keep your finger on that.
It's a bit
skip
much.
ahead 15 seconds.
Yeah.
How's the feedback been?
It's been very, very good. I know everyone is expecting season 2 already. Like they've already claimed it to be a hit.
I've been seeing some stuff online.
Yeah, they love the layers, the cast, the plots, the drama, just everything. The cinematic feel. So it's like, yeah, everyone did a great job on it, man. Like a great job.
You've been doing press and stuff. It's been so hard to get a hold of this guy to come and do this.
No, I know. It was just like
I knew this was gonna happen.
I almost like I didn't really know how it was gonna work, but I did know that at some point they was telling us along the journey, but without even having dates, and I'm like, hey, guys, be ready because it's gonna be that time when press comes and you got to like do press stuff. So now I'm like enduring that right now. So.
Yeah, you're gonna be swamped with that stuff.
Yeah, which has been cool though, bro. Like
it's new for you?
Yeah, it's new. I've been busy, but very proactive and just sharing light and you know, the good news and love everywhere. So it's just like, it's been amazing, man. I can't even complain.
Hell yeah. Even just from the first episode that I watched during the premiere, I was like, you did great, bro. Honestly, there was like no criticism because I'm not like, I'm watching it as like a normal viewer. I'm not hyper analyzing you.
Yeah.
And honestly, I was like, oh, you're killing this shit. Well, because dude, I'm like, prepared that man well.
Yeah.
And I was like, them dance scenes?
Yeah.
You were killing it in them dance scenes,
bro. But when those parts came up, on the parts that you know what I'm talking about, your reaction.
Oh, bro. I mean, I was expecting it was gonna be, you know, spicy.
It was,
but they fucking hit us with that fire sauce right off the rip. They said this is that fucking habanero spice, like.
Nah, it was ghost pepper.
Ghost pepper.
Yeah,
like literally.
You gotta sign that.
No appetizer.
The form for like, you know, with the gloves of eating and watching it.
They said no appetizer, straight off the rip. Here's the ghost pepper,
bro.
I was like, dang.
Yeah, it's just crazy. So I don't know. We're gonna see, man. I think. Hypothetically speaking, I want to say there is going to be a season 2.
Yeah. Shit, man. Congratulations, baby. You officially a fucking actor now.
Bro, for real. Not to mention your boy got to fly out here soon again. I don't know if I just want to tell him again what's about that. I'll wait. I'll just when it comes.
Well, you guys already kind of have an idea.
Yeah.
They're utilizing you very well over there at the Tyler Perry Studios.
Yeah, I'm grateful.
Shout out to Tyler Perry.
Shout out to TP.
Y'all want to go check that out. BET Plus. All the Queen's Men.
Yeah, man. It's wild.
But anyway, ladies and gentlemen, we gonna get into some things today.
It's been a minute though. But
it has been a minute.
I feel like it has been a while.
We haven't filmed like together in a minute. That's it, because I knew this was all coming. So just a heads up to everybody who's watching this. We have gone to doing a new episode every other week now. So we're doing one episode every other week, but we're doing 2 lives per week.
Yes.
So every Wednesday we're doing a live on Instagram, and every Friday we're doing a live on YouTube. So if you're not subscribed or following us there, make sure to do that. So you're getting 2 lives a week and a new podcast episode every other week.
Yes.
So this will give us, this actually works a lot better for us. The lives have been something I know, like I've noticed like a lot of people have loved the interaction. I love it too. It's fucking so much fun.
Yeah.
It's so great. It gets a little crazy in there sometimes. We're bringing on guests into our lives and stuff. It's great.
Yes.
And by spacing out the episodes more, it gives us more time to like really go in depth and plan out these episodes better and like not rush them out. Cause you know, keep in mind we were doing like one every week, but plus a bonus episode every week. So
Yeah.
it's like 2 episodes a week we were recording. It was getting a little overwhelming.
That's true.
So that's why we're doing that, but we're definitely making it up with the lives. So if you're not following us on YouTube and Instagram, make sure to do that. We adding a shit ton of content over there.
Man, y'all asked for it
It's
too.
going down, baby.
Y'all asked for this.
So ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Strip Down Podcast.
Welcome back. Welcome back. Feels good to be back, ladies. For real.
Feels good to be back.
Should we introduce to any new viewers that are viewing it?
If you are new here, my name is Myles. I'm your host, and this is your handsome co-host, Mr. Dion Rome.
What's up? What's up? Appreciate y'all.
Ladies and gentlemen, if you are new here, do me a quick favor though. Please hit that subscribe button. Wherever you're listening to this, whether it's on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or YouTube, make sure to hit that subscribe button. You'll be doing us a big favor.
Yes.
It takes 2 seconds of your time. If you're not subscribed already, please check to make sure you are. If you don't like us, you could always unsubscribe later.
There you go.
You feel?
Y'all ain't bound to nothing.
So ladies and gentlemen, one thing that we like to do every episode is do a few shout outs, show some love to y'all that have been showing love to us.
That's right. Who we got today?
These are the people who've been showing up in that notification section more and more often.
Okay.
So we like to pick some new people every single week. And this week from YouTube, we got Michelle Acuna and Renee Aquino.
Oh, cool name. Shout out to y'all, Michelle and Renee.
Renee, that's a fella.
That's a fella.
That's
Shout out
right.
to you, brother.
One of the supporters. And from IG, we got Queen Shay and Bree Venenosa.
Shout out to Queen and Bree. Oh yeah, all
That's
love,
right.
all love.
And from TikTok, we got Some Maliciousness and Auntie Wiggs.
Auntie Wiggs.
Auntie Wiggs is supporting
Auntie
your boys.
Wiggs. Ladies, support Auntie Wiggs. I presume that she's selling wigs or something like that. I mean, she may have a wigs business or something like that.
Auntie Wiggs is the shit. I love her.
I like that. That's dope.
But yeah, ladies and gentlemen, so this episode, we're going to be touching on something that I feel like is going to be a game changer.
You've been talking about it for a minute too.
Honestly,
Multiple.
that's the reason we're doing this
Yeah.
episode, because during the lives that we do,
Yeah.
I bring up this whole kind of like approach in
Yeah.
dating and relationships over and over and over again.
That changes everything if you think about it.
It's a mental and perspective shift that literally is a game changer. And I feel like for 80-90% of the people who are listening, if you're having any sort of frustrations about dating or relationships, I want y'all to take a good listen to this episode, because this, if you haven't figured out by the title right now, once we elaborate on it, it's gonna be a game changer for y'all. I brought it up so many times, I said we might as well just do a whole damn episode on this and really break it down for the people.
This is a much needed episode for everyone out there.
Yeah.
They're like, yo, something got to give. What is the answer to this?
Yeah, and it always gets brought up when somebody's asking me, like, you know, how to get over a heartbreak and then also get back into the dating scene, or how to get over a certain situation, how to get back into dating in general, how to deal with certain frustrations about dates that don't work out or whatever.
Yeah.
I always bring up this advice, and now I'm going to actually like elaborate on it.
Yeah.
You know, we're both going to elaborate on it, because
It's integral.
it's
necessary.
definitely a game changer. And I've seen people give me feedback after taking the advice and saying, yo, because of that mental shift that you talked about, like literally I've been so much happier in my dating life.
Yeah.
Right. And ladies and gentlemen, the whole concept in a nutshell is don't pursue relationships, pursue friendships.
With the little salt bay right there. Just a little. Sprinkle
You
that on
understand
that
what
little
we're saying?
that little main entree.
That's right. We telling you, stop chasing these guys, stop chasing these girls, stop giving a fuck
Y'all are overexerting yourselves.
about dating or having a relationship or having any sort of expectations for what the outcome is gonna be, right? And it's all gonna make sense, because when you really apply this, I guarantee you're gonna attract better people that are more geared towards you, that love you for you, than anything else.
Yeah. I
All
agree.
right.
I agree.
Because there's a big difference between your mentality when you're pursuing a friendship and when you're pursuing a relationship. Just think about it. Like
yeah.
all of us, all of our friendships, think about your friendships that you have. They always last longer than most of your relationships.
Definitely.
You know? Why is that?
I mean, for one, you don't have you don't have any expectations, for that matter, that can just, you know, create this sort of disappointment if something doesn't work out, you know?
Right.
Because if you think about it, like, you just have this desperate sort of approach of like, okay, I'm writing down all this on my list of the build-a-bear relationship that I want.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So because I guarantee you, if you are chasing relationships instead of chasing friendships, that's exactly what will happen.
And you know what I picked up off of what you just said is like, a part of the reason why you're not getting deeper is because your checklist is getting in the way.
Yeah.
That Build-A-Bear quote unquote checklist. Oh, he's got to be this. He's got to be that. They got to be this. They got to be that. It's getting in the way because as soon as you see something you don't like, that's it. It's over. You don't go any further with them. Right. But with friendships, you don't have no fucking checklist. I mean, it's a very small checklist. Just be cool. Let's vibe. And fucking, you know, let's respect each other.
Yeah.
And just be.
And let's really learn about each other.
Yeah. And then anything that you say, I'm not like judging you for it.
Yeah.
Right. Anything you do, I don't really have it. If you take an hour to text back, I ain't tripping.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? If you flake on me because something came up, I ain't tripping. I understand. I take a much more understanding approach with a friendship. And that allows me to like actually foster a more organic, deeper relationship with somebody.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Of course, have your standards and whatnot, but like have the standards of a friendship at first.
Yeah.
Without any expectations of anything, what it could turn into.
Yes.
And then it'll organically foster into something that is more likely going to be compatible for you in a relationship sense.
Yes.
Because now, what people don't realize is when you are pursuing a relationship, you're not actually like presenting your most authentic self with them. You know, you're trying to be like the best version of yourself or what you think the other person wants in a relationship.
They could be doing the same thing.
You're afraid of the judgment as well.
Absolutely.
Right? So you think they have expectations, so you are presenting your best authentic self. But like with friendships, you're not afraid of that judgment. You're just gonna be you.
Yeah.
It's like take it or leave it, right?
Exactly.
It takes all the pressure off. All the pressure is gone.
It's like, yo, it's such a weight that gets lifted off because it's like you don't feel burdened by any sort of flaws that you may have that you can't present to the person. And that's what I'm saying. Like that whole raw standpoint that you are supposed to display to that person gets severely suppressed because now it's like, well, I want you to like me. I want you to like, you know, consider me probably for the long term, but let me like put my flaws on the back burner and not just show you just yet. And let's kind of move and maneuver through this as months and months and months go down the line or whatever, until eventually you have to deal with the true colors of both of you guys. And then problems come arise because you guys didn't even do that in the beginning.
Might as well just deal with it up front.
Exactly.
It's like, and then it's like, I've already shown you everything from the get-go.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I had no expectations. So you could have all these friendships and like, you know, you're presenting your real authentic self. There's no judgment coming off of you and you're not feeling any judgment. There's no expectations. And with no expectations and no judgment, that means there's no sort of like desperate energy coming off of you either. You know what I mean? Like this applies to the fellas too. Because when you have an intention or an expectation, it doesn't matter whether it's trying to get some or trying to get a relationship. When you have expectations or some sort of agenda beyond just being just yourself, I don't want anything from you. Now you're being 100% your authentic self. Yeah. Right? I saw some guy ranting on TikTok talking about, I'm done chasing. I'm done. You know, I give up on chasing girls. I'm not going to pursue girls anymore. I'm like, yeah, bro. Like, it's so obvious that you're frustrated because you had those expectations and you don't realize like how that backfires on you. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, first off, when you're chasing and you care that much, it's going to backfire because you're not giving off authentic energy. Yeah. You know what I mean? You're giving off a little bit of a desperate energy in a sense. You know, even if you're a perfect gentleman, right? That's not authentic. Let's be real. Yeah. You know, there's no such thing as a perfect gentleman. That's a facade. That's fake, right? And people don't build genuine connections with fake. You know what I mean? It's got to be authentic. There's got to be some flaws. And when you're open, you don't care about what the other person thinks about it. You just presenting yourself authentically as you. It's like take it or leave it.
Yeah.
It's like people can appreciate that about you, and it encourages them to be more open and real with you as well.
Yeah, the reciprocation is there.
And if they open up and they're real, you know, you got yourself a new genuine friend.
Yeah.
If they don't open up and they're not real, you don't give a shit. It's like, okay, you know, we're gonna stay at arm's length, but I don't feel any sort of type of way about it.
Yeah.
you feel what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's like a life hack to help keep you at a peace of mind, like at all times.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, you know a person is for you when they appreciate your worst just as much as your best.
Yeah.
It's like they don't let it kind of affect any. If anything, they appreciate that more because it's actually who you are without any sort of, you know, mask that you have to put over it. And it's just like, oh, okay, like this is what I like because I'm flawed, because they're flawed, because this. So knowing that you can be comfortable enough to share that flaw with me allows myself to be able to share with you. And then now we create something that doesn't have any barriers, but more of just that transparency that is so fruitful, you know?
That part.
I'm telling you, glasses.
Well said, my friend.
The glasses, boy.
You see, this is what we've been trying to say. Is it clicking yet? Because we could actually give some real life examples of how this is like.
Oh yeah.
Complete. Like this is true in your relationship, right?
Yeah.
You know, you've mentioned this in previous episodes of like when you were meeting your wife, and at first it was a surface level kind of attraction,
Right.
And she had her boundaries set up, and like I'm sure she could feel kind of like what your intentions were. But then like as you reapproached and like you took the mentality of like, you know what, I actually dig her vibe, and I don't care about trying to, I want to be just friends with her. I'm cool if it's platonic.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? And now it opened you up to just be real with her and for her to be real with you. And that's when the real attraction started.
That because now she gave me a chance to really internalize for myself, okay, clearly she don't want to do that. So now I have to build some sort of connection with her that is much deeper, but in return is also building a connection with me that much deeper, because I can learn about myself through learning about you as well, on how we're able to sort of approach this sort of dynamic, because it was slightly foreign to me. You know, I didn't really have to, I'm not going to say, you know, but back, I will say, I'll be transparent to say that like, I didn't necessarily have to work so hard before in certain other manners, but the fact that she made me do that allowed me to look in a self-reflective lens at myself to be like, okay, is this girl worth it? What is it that she has that makes you want to do this? And if it is something that she has, then do it and put it all on the table. But if you accept within yourself that like, okay, there's really nothing here, and you was just going for the looks or the hookup or whatever like that, then go ahead and go. But then I was just like, her personality spoke for herself as well. And I'm like, that's what I looked to see what could be long lasting if I were to be in something down the line. Not that I knew at that very moment, but it was just like, okay, this is actually beneficial to sort of my soul, because it's like, it's deeper than like any physical. It's like, okay, I can get along with this person. I can really connect with this person. And she's like a friend, like for real. Like she's a homie, and just building that and just seeing where that goes. You know what I'm saying? Instead of just hooking up with somebody and then, okay, cool. We didn't really vibe like that. You know, we didn't really learn about each other or anything, but we took the opposite approach.
What was it about her, like her personality that you kind of, that resonated with you, that attracted you, that made you say, I actually do like, just want to be friends. I'm cool with that. Like, what was it about her personality that like made you,
I felt like she
come to that decision?
Wasn't afraid of being her authentic self, of being the most realist that she possibly can. And what that meant is, well, to me, is she didn't feel the need to put on no facade of nothing. Everything just came out exactly how it was. There was no sort of costume at all in any manner. So it forced me to actually see her how she was, with everything already hitting on the table. Like, okay, if you want me, you want me. This is all it. So if you don't, you don't. And I'm like, oh, that's different. I like that. And then it allows me to sort of start to get to a place where I'm actually doing the same thing, where you don't have to hide nothing. You know? It's just,
See what I'm talking about, ladies and gentlemen? This is exactly what I'm talking about. That was perfectly said, my friend.
I mean, what I can truly say is also like having your aim really grounded of a set of what direction that you're aiming to go in. If you don't have aim in nothing, the purpose isn't there at all either, because now there's a moving target. Say, you know, relationships can be blinded by culture in itself, because it's this depiction that culture says what a relationship should be, but the barometer, if you're going off of that, it's literally like different in different decades. Like, oh, this decade of culture of relationship looks like this.
Yeah.
Now it looks like this. So if you're going off of that, there's a moving target. A target needs to stand still. I'm like, no, okay, this is exactly what I'm aiming for. This is truly something meant for me, because it actually betters me.
Right.
That's how you know the value truly of a relationship that is for you, if that person is making you better.
Right. So you
And that's
noticed
what it
the things about her. She was being her authentic self.
Yeah.
And like when you saw that, did it make you feel like, how did that make you feel? Like, were you more comfortable around her? Like, were you starting to be honest? Like, were you being your authentic self, or did it take you time to like?
Yeah, to be honest, it took me time, because I wasn't used to it.
Yeah.
So it was one of those things where I had to sort of, continue to refine myself to be able to get to a point like that. Because I'm like, yo, most of these other times it hasn't been that. So now, like, when something just hit, like, you know, when something hits you off guard, and you're like, oh, I don't really know how to like ascertain this or something like that right now. It was kind of like that, because I wasn't already grounded in who I was to begin with. But the fact that she was being very real about herself, what she displayed to me, it allowed me to like, it will encourage me and inspire me to actually get to a point where I'm like, okay, well, I can just put everything out, you know, all my whatever secrets, anything like that. Because I felt like that when you have that dynamic, it truly strengthens and bonds you guys together even stronger. Let
me ask you this. So when you were like basically still in the phase of like, she was being real, but you were like, that was foreign to you?
Yeah.
'Cause I'm sure there's probably a lot of people, it's like, okay, this is a great concept, but what do I do if the other people that I interact with aren't comfortable, just like you were, aren't comfortable being real back with me? So like, how did she handle those situations or those moments with you when like you weren't being 100% real with her, or authentic, or maybe a little more surface level? Is there anything that like stands out of like how she handled those moments to kind of get you to like steer more into the real kind of like
100%. I mean, she has a great intuition, by the way, and I'm sure a lot of women do out here, or just people that can actually look at that and be like, okay, there's something that is causing you to feel like you can't be 100% open with me. I wonder what this is.
Did she call you out on it like that?
Not specifically verbatim like that, but just more in the sense of like trying to encourage me to have some self-awareness about where I was, and if there's anything she could do to like allow me to be more open or more comfortable to be more open about myself with her, you know?
Gotcha.
And I think it was more of like, okay, if I continue to be real with me, like her, and I'm talking about her standpoint, if I continue to be as real as I possibly can, then hopefully he can see like a reflective sort of example of what it means that of him doing the same thing.
Right.
You know, eventually. But
is there any like examples of like specific moments that you could like recall that, you know, she kind of hinted to you like, hey, you know, you don't have to bullshit me, basically. Like, you could be real with me. You know what I mean?
I don't know if anyone have viewed into our past episode, but it was a time I can recall when I first came out here, and I didn't really have much in LA, and it was the point of me faking about like where I stayed.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And the faking about the whole car situation.
Right.
On, oh, it got stolen, or it got like, you know, I had to report, police report on it, and then once she found out what it's just something didn't sit right.
So how did
she knew that? So she was just like, had to sit me down and be like, hey, like, what's up? You know, like, talk to me. Like, I'm here. Like, I'm not gonna judge you. I'm not gonna do none of that. Like, talk to me.
Right there.
You know. So it was just
Let me just point that out for a second. That I'm not gonna judge you. Talk to me. Like, you could tell. I'm not gonna judge you. I'm not gonna like get mad or like react poorly. Like, how, when you did tell her the truth, what was her reaction? She
was slightly disappointed, because she felt like well, you could have done that. I really felt like you didn't have to feel the need to lie to me about this, because I didn't want you to feel like I wouldn't accept you on where you were at, you know? And when I heard that, I was just like, what was I fighting so much on not being able to do that before the situation came up? And it was more of my fears within myself, because I wasn't grounded in myself as a man at that time.
Right.
I wasn't stable. I wasn't doing none of this. So I'm just like, I'm trying to appear to be someone of equality with you. And even though it didn't necessarily come out that way specifically, I had to ask myself now, like, hey, are you really ready now to face reality on, like, okay, just accept where you're at. She said she wouldn't judge you. She accepts you where you're at and everything like that. So now just build from there and don't hold anything back. What are you struggling with and everything? Just let her in.
Yeah.
You know?
Just be at peace with your quote unquote flaws and vulnerabilities.
Yeah, because I would say too, as real as she was, there were certain things, some things that wasn't 100% out in the open because of what I was holding back from her. So it was almost like a reciprocation that, okay, she was still being real with me, but certain things in terms of like maybe secrets of like past or whatever, she wouldn't brought up or bring up because of me holding back. It's just like, okay, now sort of that human instinct of like, okay, if you're holding back like a little bit, I'm going to hold back a little. I'll give you like me, but I just probably wouldn't say like so much like that anymore until you know, I entrust you to be able to open up to me.
Gotcha.
Because then now it's like, you don't trust me and we're not on the same wavelength, you know what I'm saying? Because of some certain reason, so.
Yeah, so she was like, she wanted you to get on the same wavelength as her before she completely opened up.
Yeah.
But she was, during that process, she was showing you that she was willing to open up if you were on the same wavelength, and kind of slightly pushing you a little bit more, or encouraging you, I shouldn't say push, but encouraging you to come in more into that direction, and kind of just, hey, the ball's in your court. It's like, but I just, so you know, she remained authentically 100% herself the whole time. Yeah. You know, and she was really just trying to be a good friend, it seemed like. Yeah. During that. And just like, because that seems like something I've had this conversation with you too, bro. Like, and now that I think about it, there's been moments where I'm like, hey, listen, you know, don't feel like you can't just like tell me what's on your mind, you know, instead of holding it in. That's a friendship type conversation. You know what I mean? Like, I want to help, or I want to resolve whatever you might be frustrated about, or this or that. Again, it kind of comes back to like having that friendship type mentality, and then it's gonna, you know, more likely build a authentic, genuine relationship. Would you agree? Yeah. And then looking back on it, I come to this one conclusion, that faith and self-respect leads to outward serenity and inward peace. You know, and I think, what's that mean? So basically, the self-respect in itself of like, okay, accepting who you are, respecting yourself to feel like you're not manipulating anyone or like lying to anybody, or even lying to yourself about who you are, that you respect yourself no matter where you're at. And also the faith of knowing, okay, things are gonna work. This is how God created me to be. I don't have to worry about so much trying to be somebody else. So now let me admit that in itself. So now the peace, the serenity that is not only internal but external around you is enough in itself to be like, this is how I'm gonna walk, and this is how I'm gonna live. And whoever will be for me, he will place in my life who that person is that does the same exact thing. So we don't have to worry. Right. So just like having faith, things are going to work out. Yeah. You know what I mean? Having the self-respect and accepting yourself. That's like self-acceptance. Yeah. And knowing that things are going to work out. Yeah. You know what I mean? Just having faith in that. It's the moment when we stop trying and start trusting more. Fuck it. Amen, bro. Amen. Because honestly, that's exactly how I feel. Like this entire approach that we're preaching right now, like this literally is so instilled in me. This is like literally, I believe in it because I live by it. Yeah. You know what I mean? I don't worry about having a relationship, you know, finding a relationship. I just know that it'll all play out exactly like it's supposed to. Yeah. You know what I mean? And I'm completely 100% at peace with whatever result. You know what I mean? And that kind of also leans on the idea of mastering the ability of being happy alone. You know, not having any sort of pressure, you know, the societal cultural pressure of like everybody needs to find somebody, everybody needs to be with somebody or get married. I don't put any of that pressure on myself. I really don't, honestly. But I'm open to whatever comes my way. You know what I mean? I'm just open, but at the same time, to either route. It's just I'm at peace with the fact that it's gonna play out the way it's supposed to. I have faith in that sense.
Yeah.
Right. And the self-respect in the sense of like I am happy.
Yeah.
Alone. And this is something I would encourage everybody to do, is like find happiness literally by yourself. You know what I mean? Occupy your time with like passions and your work and just entertainment in whatever form that you find like entertaining. Like you could entertain yourself. I have like my passions, my passion projects, my business, my side hustles, whatever. I'm just, I could go out, have fun by myself or whatever. I have a social life, and I'm not sweating anything. I'm good, like on my own. You know what I mean? So, and I don't let anybody's opinion or the pressure from outside people like get to me at all. Like it's always just like kind of in one ear and out the other. It's like my parents, when you gonna get married?
Like, when we having a little Myles.
Exactly.
How many of y'all want to see a little Myles walking around?
Hey, look, I would love to have a little Myles running around this motherfucker butt naked, just acting a fool.
Oh man!
But I'm like, I don't.
You gonna have the snapback to the back like this with the all black apparel all the time,
little exact replica.
Yeah, with the face on the little.
But literally, I don't put any pressure on myself for that. You know what I mean? I don't put like a time limit or anything. It's just it's gonna play out the way it's gonna play out, and I'm not, quote unquote married to any result, like authentically. And that allows me to take this approach like so much more easily. You know what I mean? Like, cause now without any of that pressure, quote unquote, now I really can go out into the world with no expectations, no judgment, no hidden agenda, anything, and just really 100% be my authentic self, and in turn attract people who are going to love me and my authentic self for what it is, right? Which is most likely going to result in the most fruitful relationship. Yeah. Does that not make sense?
No, it does. And I realize that's like, stop putting pressure on you guys yourself. And I think when we're talking about the whole pursuing friendships in our relationships is because you will realize who does make you better. Because I do realize this too. Enjoy this time of self-reflection and self-awareness and growing, mentally, physically, spiritually. And then you get to a point where you realize that, okay, when that person comes, you come to the conclusion that 2 is better than 1. And it's because that they can help each other succeed. Right. Say you're falling, and you will fall at any point in life, they will be right there to lift you right up. They will send that arm to lift you. But you have to know that, okay, because you pursued the friendship, you are grounded and solid in knowing that this person who has been trusting because of the raw and honest, transparent sort of approach that he's given me of being who he is authentically, it's like now that trust is built. And it's like, okay, I can't deny the fact that, like, you know what I'm saying, that you're someone who would lead me astray, knowing that, okay, we've rocked with each other for this long. Right. We've developed this friendship, this strong bond that is so mended that like there's nothing that can really tear it apart. Now when it turns into a relationship, it's like, okay, the 2 are better than 1. Now you guys are helping each other succeed. Now y'all are bettering each other's lives and improving each other's lives, And I think that's very, very important to realize, Right.
And I mean, it's so true, because when you are 100% like happy with being your authentic self, like you only allow, it almost acts as like a self-filtration system of like only allowing people who are their authentic self. Like you're so happy with yourself, you're only allowing people into your life that are going to be on the same wavelength as you. You know what I mean? It's like, cause you're already good. You're not desperate again for anything. So you're not just accepting anything that comes your way. Yeah. That's an issue I see a lot of, is like people, just wanting the relationship so bad that it's like whatever presents themselves to them, whatever presents itself to them. Yeah. They try to make it work, even though it was never meant to be in the first place. They were never on the same wavelength. They weren't improving your life, and they were almost bringing you down in a way because they just weren't on the same wavelength. But you wanted that relationship so bad that you're like, let me see if I can make this work, and then it ends up not working out because there was that initial intention, and I've fallen victim to that myself, of like wanting a relationship for this, just to fulfill that loneliness,
right?
Or, have somebody just to have somebody. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because there was a point during this entire journey of mine where I dealt with depression. I dealt with like loneliness and depression, and it's just like feeling like, oh, I'm on this little journey by myself, feeling all kinds of stress. I got nobody to like go through this with. You know what I mean? So now that planted something in my head. It's like, I wish I had somebody. And then as soon as an opportunity presented itself where a girl was showing me interest and like we were really vibing, I started ignoring all the red flags. I didn't want to see why it couldn't work. I just wanted to see why it could work.
Even though it was evident why it couldn't work.
Like looking back on it now, it was like so obvious why it couldn't work. I was like,
red flag, like in the cash register.
It wasn't even negative red flags either.
No, I know, but
it was just
still,
like,
like the realization.
Yeah, exactly. There was some just like clear reasons why this couldn't work. She wanted something for her life and I wanted something else for my life. Yeah. And like I couldn't be what she wanted and she couldn't be what I wanted.
That just wasn't right for each other.
Like that was clear as day looking back on it. I'm sure some people, y'all could think back on some past relationships and relate to me on this, but that was true in that case, and I fought tooth and nail to try to make it work. I was even contemplating doing shit that I think back of like, whoa, what the fuck were you thinking? I almost like, completely shifted course. And I was like, yo, thinking back, that's crazy.
Dang, I feel that's like, crazy.
Yo, but that's what that sort of mentality would do to you. You know what I mean? Thank God that it didn't go that route, because I would have woke up like years down the line like, this isn't what I actually wanted. Right. It's what I wanted in that moment. Yeah. But not what was actually
what you needed.
What I needed and what was meant for me. Yeah. You know what I mean? So it's like, just really look at yourself for a moment and ask yourself if that's where you're at, and try to be conscious of it, and then try to get yourself to a place of like that faith that we're talking about, and that, self-assurance that things are going to play out the way they're supposed to. And I'm good with either result, and finding the happiness in yourself, and being alone. The word alone has like a kind of a negative feeling to it, I feel like, but it shouldn't. I love my alone time. I don't know about y'all. I'm chilling. I've been noticing myself even like I'm fucking around, like laughing by myself and just like keeping myself entertained, keeping myself busy, and just like literally loving life. I'm so like at peace, and I 100% authentically say that. And I feel like the key to that is really finding things that you enjoy doing, and finding hobbies, and like improving yourself, learning, like just letting your curiosity run wild, and just learn about new things. And just, it's kind of like all these things kind of have to go hand in hand, to really get to that place. But when you do, I'm telling you, it's a mental shift that like alleviates so mumuch pressure, alleviates so much stress. Yeah. And it just allows you to be like, it's really a liberating feeling, if that's is the best way to describe it. Yeah. So that's what we talking about, baby. Yeah. You feel?
I feel like, man, it's so crazy that like a lot of people allow external pressures to root inside their hearts and grow into a place where they're bounded by chains because of all of these pressurizations, or all this list that you have just so happen to just continue to try to fill out, and looking out into the world instead of looking inward. What I realize is that what has lied behind us and before us are small matters compared to what lies within us. And what I mean by that is learning to now...
Wait. Say that one more time. I need to hear that one more time.
What I come to terms to realize is what had lied before us and behind us are small matters compared to what lies within us.
Profound.
You know?
Shit.
Yeah.
Explain that for me. What does that mean exactly?
Well, I realize you want to find a soulmate, but essentially you want your mate to find your soul. To connect with each other. And, and I feel like in order to do that, like, and I'm just speaking transparently, especially what me and my wife realize is that, he who lives in me is greater than the one who is in the world. And that just means, okay, who created me? God wants me to have a relationship with him. He wants a relationship with me, and he wants a relationship for me with others. Mm-hmm. But I feel like that was the formula that has led to what we have created within our very own right, of where we started out from, the friendship, leading to a relationship without splitting because of so many issues, this and that, coming back and having that relationship with him, and then having a relationship with each other while all that friendship was grounded because of that circle or that triangle. You feel me?
I feel you.
Yeah.
Let me ask you this. So how did you transition from the friendship to the relationship with your wife? So like now the audience might be asking, okay, I'm going to apply this, and okay, great. I've applied it, and now I have all these great, authentic friendships. How can I discern which one is like the best potential relationship? Mm-hmm. I want to get deeper into this. That was actually supposed to be part of the bonus episode because I didn't know how much time, but I want you to touch on that, and then we could elaborate more in the bonus episode.
Yeah.
But like, at what point did you realize like, oh, this is my person? This friendship right here, like, this is something I want to pursue as a relationship.
When it was more of like, I felt like she was supporting what I did, when she cared about me, more than what I felt like I cared about myself. And essentially when she wanted to allow myself to see the good in me that I didn't think was there all the time because of just past hurt and all this other stuff. So I felt like, she wanted more for me than I wanted for myself, essentially. You know what I'm saying?
So what did that conversation look like?
Just more of like, ain't no verbatim words that I can really remember off the top of my head, but more of like, whatever you choose to do, allow it to be looked at in the lens of, okay, do you see yourself growing, in this time frame from what this is, whatever it is that you're trying to do, and also whatever that looks like, I'm gonna be here for you. I'm gonna support you, and I love you and care for you so much that like, if you need me, I'm here. Like I want to help you to attain whatever it is that you're trying to do. You feel me? If that makes
almost
sense.
In a sense of like whether we're in a relationship or not.
I think it was more of a little bit selfish before then, if you want me to be honest, because it also was a mixture of, okay, I wanted to lock you down for myself. And then also for me, okay, I wanted to lock you down for myself.
Right. So she was saying that, but that kind of like, but you guys were still friends at that time when she kind of told you that.
Yeah.
Right. So you weren't like official. I'm trying to get to where, like, how did she kind of make it official with you?
When she saw that even with us having a friendship, with me having the mentality of what I had back then was, okay, we're not exclusive. I'm still in my way of thinking, of course, like all this hurt and stuff like that, all this brokenness, all of this like behavior that it wasn't as favored in most people's like lives, in terms of being a player, whatever it is. And me having sort of actions that displayed differently than the direction that she thought we were going. So she had to have a sit down and talk with me on, okay, this is what it looks like you're going. I kind of thought we was going this way. So there was really no communication like behind that, which is what was the main reason why I was doing that. Because I was just like, okay, we're friends. But maybe right now I don't see that we're gonna be together, but I'm still gonna play the field until it's like deemed to be like exclusive or like locked down. You feel me?
So when she said, I thought we were going this way, but I'm noticing you doing this, that, and the other thing. Yeah. That's basically means like she noticed that you were giving her mixed signals. Yeah. And then she kind of called you out on it. Yeah. Was like, hey, I thought we were going this way, but you're still doing this. Yeah. Like,
which I'm sure is what people run into when it comes to like, okay, you're developing friendships that isn't a relationship. And if a guy or a girl isn't in that mentality of like having that aim, a purpose of what I told you about, and just allowing sort of the comfortability play itself out on, okay, we're just gonna be friends for as long as it is. And I mean, I like you, but like that communication or that talk isn't really dealt with. You know what I'm saying?
You're giving me mixed signals, motherfucker.
So it's like, okay, well, I think I could do what I want, or I think I could still kind of be free and still, because at that time it was just like I didn't really want a relationship. But because of finding her and how she was, it was like, oh, I feel like this person is so much different than any other person that I've met that like, if it did turn into a relationship, I wouldn't be mad at it. Even though I didn't want a relationship because I just got out of a relationship. So the timing was pretty crazy on how that worked out, you know? So like for people listening, if you're dealing with somebody who is giving you those mixed signals, because I hear this all the time, you know what I mean? Like they're in a situationship or they're FWBs, quote unquote, but he treats me like his girlfriend whenever I'm around, yet he goes and does everything on the side, and then he gets mad at me when I go start talking or exploring my options as well, because I got the implication from him that, oh, you know, I'm getting mixed signals. You're showing me that we're not exclusive, but then when you're with me, you're telling me that we are exclusive. There's no communication on what this is actually. Like what did she tell you? Like that kind of like implied, hey, you're gonna have to make a decision. Like in what way did she call you out on your mixed signals, but also implied that if we're not going this direction, then stop having, or like we need to Well, it was just more of like she was willing to back off. You know, she was willing to just say, okay, I won't impede or I won't impose upon whatever it is that you want to do if that's what you want to do. I just thought that this was what it was, but if this is what it is, I won't hold it against you, but we can't have sort of these mixed signals and things like that kind of going on, you know? So she's like, she was willing to back off. And I think that that's what it takes, because I mean, you got to think about it too. It's like, okay, so you're in a situation, so you're in FWBs, but like ask yourself what you really want. Do you really want something short term, or do you want something long term of a vision that you feel is beneficial for you in the long run for the rest of your life? Because that won't be beneficial for you because you're enabling certain behaviors and things that is going to continue to arise mixed signals and things where he's going to just continue to do what he's going to do, and then you're trying to expect a different result, but this is the dynamic of what it actually is, you know what I'm saying? So what is actually happening as well, her willingness to just back off and really being serious about that puts you in a position where you have to make a decision and you have to basically show your cards. You know what I mean? It makes you think about, oh, okay, it's either I go do this. What do I really want? This or this? Now I got to really sit and think about it. Right? Is that what happened with you? It was, and you know what was crazy is that now that I think about it, looking back on it, it was actually a foreshadow on our conversation, which was like probably like 6 months ago, when she said, hey, I am at this place now in my life. You know, I built my faith. I've been celibate. I've been so filled with life and light and joy, and my spirit has been uplifted. And this is where I've grown and molded myself to be with him. If you can't do that, I won't hold it against you, but I can't see you romantically, because if nothing changes, nothing changes. If you're continuing to enable this guy, he's going to continue to do the same thing over and over again. But when you're willing to say, hey, if you're not for me, or I can cut it off, or I'm backing off, figure out what you want, because I know for myself what I value. I know for myself my value, that this is the direction that I see for the longevity wise, potentially a marriage, this and that, or whatever that you want to create for yourself. If you want that, then this is what we have to do. You know what I'm saying? If you don't want that, that's fine. Then that's okay. Let me back off. But don't women, ladies, do not be 1 foot in and 1 foot out, because, and don't allow them to be 1 foot in. And don't allow them to be 1 foot in, because they will continue to do so. There's a survival mechanism that goes on in a man's head when he has to make a drastic decision. When it's like, okay, she's giving me this choice, I could potentially lose her. You know, so now, do I want to continue with this behavior that I'm doing, or do I really want to like be solid and grounded and locking down what we have and the future that we're going to build together and eradicating that behavior.
Right.
You know, because I see the value in you and I see where this can go.
Right.
You know?
So, and she was like solid in that.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And like that made you really sit and think about it.
Yeah.
You know, but also she, like the way she phrased it to you is like, either route is fine. I'm cool with either route.
Yeah.
That's almost like going back to her, like not having quote unquote expectations. I'm fine with whatever way this works out.
Okay, with not having me.
Exactly. Like, I'm content with myself.
Yeah.
Right. So it kind of goes back to this, kind of comes full circle here.
Yeah.
And then it's like, if it's meant to be, because you have to make that decision. And if you're really serious about her, you have to show your cards. Now is the time to show your cards.
The ball is truly in your court. That's exactly what it is.
And now it's like, I'm either going to go this way or I'm going to go back this way. And that's him showing his cards of like what he truly wants and values the most.
But her being okay with whatever outcome that looks like, whether I'm there or I stay with her or I'm not. And I think a lot of the times is probably ladies out there, if the shoe does fit, where you're so afraid to just lose this man forever, or thinking that, okay, if I do that, I won't like the outcome because he may be gone. And that is allowing sort of that continued dynamic to continue to move forward, rather than giving him the ability to really self-reflect on what truly matters to him. On like, okay, if she's really letting me go, then I have to make that decision. But you are so solid in knowing that whatever that decision that's going to make is for the best for you.
Right.
And at the end of the day, it comes down to that.
Yeah. You got to be solid in what you want and hold your ground in it, and like really think about it. Like,
don't compromise your value just to get your needs met.
And then also have like no hard feelings about the fact it could go this way or that way.
Yeah.
Right. Because that comes back to being so solid in yourself, being so quote unquote happy alone with who you are. Yeah. That it could go either way, and I'm good.
Because knowing what will be right for you will be right for you. Right. And that will happen in its due time and season. You can't control that. The moment you try to control is you trying more than you're trusting in that happening for you in that time when you are ready. Now it's like everyone has to get to this place of, okay, how am I being molded into a person that is ready to be a husband, or a person that's ready to be a wife, or getting to this place of whatever self-mastery looks like to you in that manner for establishing sort of a family or whatever it is that you want, when you're just like, okay, I'm getting refined like silver along this way that I'm molding, and now it's like I'm ready to attain that, to attract that into my life, but I'm not doing the necessary work myself to be able to attract that in my life. I'm just having a stronghold on, let me control this situation, let me control this, let me control this, and you're getting the same result happening over and over and over again. You know,
because when you're trying to control stuff, you know, there's a level of like desperation that kind of comes with that, and that's not attractive. It actually like pushes things away. That's what I really love about her approach of like, I'm fine with you going either way. You know, I'm gonna respect you for going either way. She's giving off zero desperate energy,
even though she wanted it to be a certain way, but she was okay with it not being, if it came down to that.
Like, she favored one side over the other,
of course, naturally.
But she wasn't, quote unquote, married to either one. Like, of course, like, I would like this, but I'm going to be okay with this. And what that is like, there's zero desperate energy coming out of that statement at all. And what that is like, it's actually low-key very attractive. It almost makes you want to go that way, because that's like, it's an attractive thing. Right? You could tell that the other person doesn't have any sort of like expectations or quote unquote like agenda or anything like that. It's like you almost want to go that. It's an attractive thing. You know what I mean? And this applies like even back to the surface level of attracting new friendships and, you know, just people in your life in general. When you have zero agenda, this applies to business, this applies to friendships. When you have zero desperate energy about it, like, I'm good with however this works out, you're more likely to attract what you actually desire. You know
because I mean? Just like you said, if he wanted me to go more in that direction, because she was able to tell me that, because of knowing what it would take for me to be able to do that. That is bettering myself. That is making the tough choices and tough decisions that normally I wouldn't do. That's
Right.
going against the grain on everything of so-called freedom or whatever it is that you want for yourself, or knowing that, okay, if you want to be with me, then this is how you grow as a man, to make those decisions. This is how you grow as a woman, to do things differently, to sacrifice, to have that honor, to have that respect, to have that faithfulness, to, you know, just those different sort of aspects that play into us having a longevity sort of relationship, you know, and that's exactly what it was, because I knew that I would grow in that process.
Right.
You know?
See, this really works best when you are somebody and everything, the route that you're encouraging the other person to take is something that's going to help make them better. You know what I mean? That's how solid you are. That's how much abundance you've made for yourself. That's how, like, great you've made yourself. It kind of goes back to the initial point of, like, mastering the ability of happy alone, making yourself so, like, great, and so you're so happy with it that, like, you would not only be helping the people that you bring along this journey with you, but they'd be helping you as well if they were on that same wavelength. And she's encouraging you to basically get on that same wavelength as well. You know what I mean? And it makes it a much easier decision for you, because you could see, oh, you're gonna make me better if I go this way. If I go this way, sure, it might be more fun or whatever, but honestly, it's not making me better.
Yeah, exactly.
So we do the math in our head. We're like, I should go this way. Like us dudes. It's like, you know what? It makes it much easier. So,
and that's what I meant by being blinded by culture standards.
Right. It's like, I do want that for my life. Shit, I'm coming with you, girl. Make it easy for them. You know what I mean? It's like, what you got to think about. And if they think, oh, they choose the other option,
then let them.
Like, let them. It's like, you're lost, bro. You know what I mean? Like, shit, I had fucking the Golden Bakery over here. You fucking chose some shitty cupcakes. It's all good, bro. You know what I mean?
Those ain't some good cupcakes.
You know what I mean?
At all.
So it's like, that's the mentality. That's the attitude. It's like, I would like you to come with me, but if you want to go that way, that's your loss.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
And I feel like the loss is the ultimate gain in itself, you know? It's just like when, you know, even transparent about just a little slight tangent, not even most. When people ask me, like, okay, what do you gain, you know, from praying or whatever it is? I say, okay, well, there isn't something that's tangibly feeling like I've gained anything, but what I've lost was actually pride, was actually fear, was actually worry, was actually anxiety, was actually
all these
greed,
negative things.
was actually everything. So the loss in itself was the ultimate gain, even though the tangible gain felt like it wasn't there in itself. You feel me? So that part.
That part, baby. That shit was profound, baby.
Hey.
That shit right there, profound.
I'm just speaking
Professor
truth.
Profound in this
Just
motherfucker.
sharing the good news, man.
You feel? Shit. I feel like this was a great episode, man.
Bruh, facts.
Hey.
Y'all think it was a great episode? Hey, show some love,
Show
man.
some
Thumbs
love.
up,
Let us know.
hearts all in the comments.
Let us know in the comment section. We gonna get into some more. But let me tie this all together, because actually there's been a quote that has been going viral online. It's almost like a mantra. And people have been swearing by this. It's like, yo, I've taken this and I've been saying it to myself repeatedly, like throughout the day or whatever, and I'm like actually believing it. And now I'm starting to see the results. It's crazy how many like opportunities and things have come into my life by basically repeating this to myself and then ultimately believing it. And it's the quote is something along the lines of like, I don't chase, I attract. Whatever is meant for me will find its way into my life, right? And that statement basically capsulizes everything that we've just talked about here. Because with applying this, you are no longer chasing anything.
It's a shift completely.
You are just attracting.
Yeah.
And you're so content and solid in yourself, and you have that unwavering faith that whatever is meant to be will find its way into my life. You're actually applying that quote to your entire mindset and approach to quote unquote life. You know, because this doesn't just apply to relationships, it applies to like life in general.
Oh yeah, 100%.
You know what I mean?
I agree.
So
should I also like to touch on that, like appreciate all those failures, appreciate all those mistakes. Do not let it define your attitude of anything, because you realize that you have walked through those troubled waters not to drown, but to simply be cleansed.
Say that one more again. Say that one more again. I didn't have my glasses off. I didn't have my glasses
it's just
on.
the perspective shift on knowing that, okay, if I'm going to be refined like silver, if I'm going to be molded, allow all of this to be fuel, all of the failures, all of the hurt, all of the brokenness, all of the disappointments that I have walked through troubled waters, not to drown, but to simply be cleansed. I'm done. Those glasses, boy. I'm done.
Ladies and gentlemen, on that note,
Baby,
we gonna get in to the bonus episode.
What we got for them?
So, ladies and gentlemen, fuck, that shit, I'm still a little shaken.
Oh my goodness, boy, you something else.
So on that note, ladies and gentlemen, I hope y'all enjoyed everything that we talked about in this episode. If you did, please leave us some comments in the comment section below.
Right.
Any moments, any quotes that resonated with you. You know, let us know. Share this with a friend who you may think will benefit from this perspective or anything that we talked about today.
That's right.
You know, we appreciate all the feedback. We appreciate all the perspective. We love it all. So, ladies and gentlemen, what we're about to do is get into the bonus episode.
Yes, sir.
Where we are going to elaborate on some of these ideas. It's basically kind of going a little bit more in depth of like how to know if somebody would make a good partner for you. Like if you're out pursuing friendships and whatnot.
Yeah.
One, we're going to give you the lowdown game on like how to become more approachable and how to approach more easily, and also how to foster these friendships from the beginning, and then how to discern which ones could be potential relationships and kind of how to go about that. We touched on it a little bit in this episode, but we're going to get more in depth, right? And we're also going to touch on and go more in depth on how to know if somebody is sure about you, right? We're gonna go in depth on that. We touched on it a little bit, but we gonna go in depth.
Recircle around.
So, ladies and gentlemen, if you didn't know, we got a whole members thing going on. We got this whole thing where we doing fucking members only content for all the supporters that be supporting the boys. We coming out with bonus episodes.
You know who you are.
Not only we doing bonus episodes, we doing exclusive lives. We got like exclusive. All kinds of things in that members area.
Everything.
It's basically like, you know, a little community in there.
Yeah.
And it's on YouTube where the community is. But we've also got, you could, if you want to access just the bonus episodes, you could do that on Apple Podcasts or Spotify as well.
Okay.
Just go to the link in our description. You can find a link to access all that. But yeah, definitely encourage y'all to check that out. We're producing all kinds of bonus content for y'all. They're going to help y'all out. Fucking save you all kinds of money in therapy, baby. I've gotten that comment before. I might as well pay y'all instead of my therapist.
Hey, that's right.
So, ladies and gentlemen, we about to hop into that.
Yes.
So one last time, if you hesitated to hit that subscribe button in the beginning, I hope we've given you enough value during this podcast to encourage you to hit that subscribe button now.
That's right.
Go ahead and hit that subscribe button, girl. Come on.
Hey, looking.
What you waiting for? Hit that subscribe button. Hit that subscribe button anywhere you're listening to. Hit it everywhere.
Yep.
Apple Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube. Turn the notifications on.
Everywhere.
You got an opportunity on Apple Podcasts. If you don't mind leaving us a 5-star review,
know what I'm saying?
writing a few words about us, that would be highly appreciated as well.
That's right.
So, ladies and gentlemen, we thank you for being here. We thank you for spending this time. And we will see you later. Peace.
In the bonus episode.
And vice versa, what are some things that you've noticed people do? You know, how do they approach you that makes you like say, oh, damn, what's up? Like,
when I feel like there's like a genuine curiosity on what someone's story is or who someone actually is. Because I feel like for me, myself personally, is like I really love